yeah, interning at Soul Asylum. How was that? Like, tell us about that. That was in 2011.
Yes, that was 2011. Well,
Man,
hold on, was it 11 or I don't know at this point.
intern experience. Like, what were you doing?
Intern things, running the place,
Okay,
cleaning up,
gotcha.
hosting the guests and stuff.
Oh wow.
Learning, picking up on everything that you can business wise, audio wise.
Did you take your
Just
school
relation.
training into Soul Asylum, or did you kind of leave that at the door? Like, how was that?
Mm.
Going in. I know Raphael Capone. He's really adamant about his training. So
Yeah.
going in there with the SCE training compared to the Soul Asylum training, how was that?
For me, all knowledge is good knowledge.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
If it works for me, it
Yeah.
works for me. I'm not leaving anything behind. So
Got you. Got you.
I have a lot of stuff that I picked up from SAE. I have a lot of stuff I picked up from Soul Asylum. I have a lot of stuff I picked up on YouTube. There's a
yeah,
lot of stuff that you pick up from watching other people.
You still study too, huh? Books and read.
Yeah, of course, man.
Righteous.
Got to. The technology changes, the sound changes. You got to study the music and what's changing about that. You got to study the artists. You got to study the technology, the software.
Okay.
It's always learning. That
Gotcha.
never stops. I feel like the point when you say to yourself, I got this figured out, is the point you probably
Get shocked, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, that's actually a good way to lead into some questions I got. So we finished school and we're at Soul Asylum. We're interning. When did you know? When was that first session? When did you get thrown in that seat? And it was just like, I'm here. I'm engineering at a world-renowned studio, Soul Asylum. How was it? Were you nervous? Or did you just fall in the driver's seat and NASCAR and do some laps? Like, how was it?
That first session.
Yes.
Yeah, that first session wasn't as smooth.
Okay. A lot of mix and bumps.
Yeah, and it's not that I didn't know what I was doing. I was good at what I did even at the beginning, because I put time into it.
Gotcha.
I say that confidently because I
Okay.
know that I put time into it. So, it's not that I wasn't aware of what I was doing, just fumbling around. I think it was just like that initial, this is my first client. It's not my homeboy.
Okay.
It's not, like somebody that's doing this for free. They're paying, they're expecting certain things out of me.
Was this an artist that knew how to record?
I don't even remember. I just
Okay.
remember it not being as smooth.
What was not smooth about it? Like, just being nervous or what?
Just the nerves. That
Can't
first
fly
time
hooks
nerves.
the right way. Like, what was
that
it?
first time nerves, man. Like,
Yeah. The patch bay didn't get your signal right. Like,
yeah, just being not as smooth. Everything. It started off good.
Okay.
And then just halfway through it, I
Yeah,
it
it's
just got
nervous.
weird.
It's nervousness. So you get through your first session, and then right then and there, this is what you want to do.
I think I knew that before.
Okay.
Before I otherwise I wouldn't have gone through the process of
True.
school and a 1 year free internship struggling. And
That was just kind of like the icing on the cake, getting in that first
Yeah.
session, huh?
yeah,
Okay.
it was I was able to get working pretty quickly. Was a blessing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I got going pretty quickly into my internship.
Well, we all know Soul Asylum is a pretty big studio here in Atlanta. I was blessed to do my internship under you at that and learned a lot from Flo.
Yeah.
What was it like doing your first, not celeb, but I guess your first rapper? Like, who was your first big name artist you recorded? Do you remember?
Waka.
Waka Flocka.
Waka Flocka.
Okay, I think that video is online somewhere too, where he's in the platinum suite in the booth
Yeah.
rapping.
I'm not. There probably is. There's videos.
It used to
of
be
everything.
it used to be a commercial or something. I want to say on the old Soul Asylum, and I think that was one when he was in there. And matter of fact, I think that's when the toilet got jammed up, if I'm not mistaken. Was it that session?
It was one of those. He used to come out there a lot, and KY Engineering was his engineer at the time. So
okay,
I was
nice.
assisting a lot of the times.
So you
for
actually
KY.
were assistant for KY at one point, huh?
Yeah,
In some
no, I wasn't
sessions.
assistant for KY specifically. I was working at Soul Asylum, and
Got you.
they were there, so I was assisting KY
Got you.
during their sessions.
So was Flocka one of your first credits?
Yeah, that was
Actually recording?
one of the first people that I ended up actually recording.
How did he like it? Did you feel like you did a good job, or
Yeah, at
did he
this
come
point,
back
I
to
was a
you?
lot more comfortable. I had
Okay.
figured myself out and figured a lot
Gotcha.
of things out. It just got going. So like I was a lot more comfortable at this point.
Hmm.
Doing we had a pretty good time.
Pretty good time, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, we are in the studio now. You obviously have made it to that level, that industry engineer, man. Tell us about some of the some projects, some major projects you've worked on early on in your career. We'll get
Early
into where
on.
we're at now later, but
Early on, we did like some stuff with Ti on the Trouble Man album.
okay,
Uh, SWV, you know, they that was a cool one just because I grew up like listening to them and stuff like
oh
that. So
nice.
being able to like
That
work
one
with them.
meant something to you.
Yeah, it was just cool, like
You actually got to meet them and hang out.
yeah, we recorded a couple tracks. They did they were
Nice.
working on a new project. What was that TV show that they had?
Um,
R&B divas. So we did some
yeah,
stuff with those girls.
I remember that.
Selena Johnson, Monifa. So that was all some cool stuff. Just working with people that I grew up listening to.
Yeah,
Um,
it's dope.
what else have we been working on? Some Young Thug stuff recently. Some Future stuff recently. Juice
Yeah.
World.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that here in a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, we let them know we're actually in their facilities now. You know, you as you were saying, you've done a lot and you've made it to the top. Now we're here at 5 Star.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about that process. So well, actually, let's back up some. So you're at Soul Asylum, you know, it's wonderful studio. What transition? Where got you from going from Soul Asylum to now you're here at 5 Star? Even though you're still working kind of at Soul Asylum, you still have a great relationship here.
Yeah, definitely, man. Relationships are important. I think you shouldn't burn any bridges.
Definitely.
Keep good relationships with people that do good work and stuff like that. So at some point, I just realized that I wanted to go independent and
Got you.
be able to travel and go to different studios, different facilities, work out of different rooms, work with different people. And so I just made that choice. There had been a really long, like 7.5, almost 8 year run with Soul Asylum.
Yes.
We did a lot of good work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We serviced a lot of people, made a lot of people happy.
You've also made a lot of engineers, junior engineers in the city. You know.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
trained a lot of engineers that's out here, you know, doing their
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Yeah, that's another bonus of it. You know what I mean? Just being able to share the knowledge.
Right.
Soul Asylum was always big on like sharing the knowledge with the
Yes.
people there, and I believe in the same thing. Somebody shared it to me. Somebody gave it to me. I have no problem giving it to other people so they can make the best of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some engineers will say, "Well, I don't want to give away my secrets," but at the end of the day, my ear is my ear. I could give you everything that I'm doing, it still won't sound the same. You know what I mean? So
Definitely understand.
I have no problems giving you.
The
all
world's
secrets.
big enough for everybody to,
Yeah,
you know,
of course, man.
to live in anyway. It's nothing. It's not a secret anyhow. It's all we make all of this stuff. We're taught these skills. We come up with the skills. But
Yeah.
anyhow, so yeah, we're in 5 Star. I mean, now we left Soul Asylum. What's your clientele list looking like nowadays?
So recently it's been like YSL.
Okay, a lot of YSL.
So like Young Thug, Gunna.
Got you. How is it working with those artists? Those are good. Well, Young Thug is very world renowned artist.
Yeah, it's great, man. Like we start off interning and we start off working
Yeah.
with a lot of like independent artists and stuff like that, and we hope that one day we get to work with like the upper echelon artists. And it's great, man. This is what we work for. This is what we try to achieve.
Yeah. Kind of on cruise control now, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
But you still have to
man.
learn though too. You know, is it more of a challenge now working with them? I mean, I guess you have the knowledge. So do you get stuck trying to accomplish something maybe in the mix or accomplish something maybe in the recording, or is it?
The challenges
the
are
same?
different, I would
Okay.
say. Like when you're working with the independent artists and they quite haven't found like their sound or what it is
Okay.
their form of delivery is, and so your challenge at that point is to kind of help them and guide them to figure themselves out. when you're working with an artist that's already established, the challenge is more so they already know what they want,
Got you.
and so you just being able to bring that to life is kind of like it's not the challenge, but that's the task more at hand at that point.
Is it a different recording style, recording a veteran like Future compared to recording a veteran like Young Thug? Do they have the same, like, do they want their music to be recorded the same, or do they actually jump in the process of recording their music? Like, how is that working with two veterans?
They're different. Both of them are different. Future's a little more laid back.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and Thug is more involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
Doug will get on the computer and do his own editing.
So he knows how to do a little engineering, huh?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that scary? Like, can you mess up? He knows what you messed up or something?
Yeah, it's you just got to be on your stuff.
Okay,
You know what
okay.
I mean? Like when you're working with somebody that isn't as familiar, you could bullshit your way around. Like
Right.
if something happens, you could be like, ah, blah blah blah. You know, quote some big names or some engineering names and get away with it. With a guy like Doug who knows what's going on and he's pretty familiar and that could do this himself, yeah, you better be on top of your game.
Right.
You know, get it right. He plays no games. He's straight to the business, straight to the point.
Was it pretty hard, like, first working with him, having an artist that knows a little bit about the engineering? How was that as far as y'all working together in the first go around?
I mean, it's just about adapting. I
Okay.
think, you know what I mean? Because you're so used to being the guy that's doing everything and handling everything, and then you have a person that's also comfortable doing it, and he'll be like, hey, you know, let me get in there. So it's just about
Oh, really? He slides you to the side sometimes?
Yeah, like, you know, hey, let me get in there. And it's no ego. It's just like, yo, I know you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I would just slide over here and let you do your thing.
Nice.
You know, and, you know, it's just, I respect it. I do my part. He does his part.
Okay.
You know, it's a working relationship at that point, which makes it cool.
How is it
it's,
now?
It's different, you know.